It is Luke Skywalker Friday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Let's turn our attention to the latest iteration of very easy meditation. And begin with the first of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply that by 8 and you have 96. You can do that by counting 8 sets on your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. Since this is our first of 4 phases, we can keep track of it by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so can gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Come, let us demystify enlightenment. What if enlightenment was not the domain of special people in special places at a special time? What if enlightenment was simply the mastery of Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what do we mean by mastery? What if mastery meant getting so good at something that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively? It is so as children are born not knowing how to use the toilet or brush their teeth or tie their shoes or ride a bike, and yet most of them can do those things by first grade. Due to neuroplasticity, humans can learn. In the second to the final passage, the penultimate passage of the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha taught that it is possible to master his path in as little as 7 days. It has been the experience of many luminaries that if one focuses on, if one prioritizes mindfulness, which is the 7th fold, and meditation, which is the 8th fold, practicing them perhaps every 12 hours or so, then the remaining 6 folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path take care of themselves. In light of the importance of this mindfulness and meditation, let us view them through the lens of neuroscience. Hey, Jay, good to see you, man. After approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Please chant with me. The nudity of the archetypical couple sporting in tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. Since the Neolithic Revolution, society has conditioned all of us to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. But a minority of humans, approximately 10% of humans, are subversive, and we are rebelling against the matrix. and would rather be flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. But the majority of people, including those who teach meditation, are rigid and controlling. Therefore, it should come as little surprise when they implore their students or their readers to actively focus and actively analyze. Now, in and of themselves, there's nothing wrong with those things. But if we choose to do it, for an hour, twice a day, we're going to exhaust our prefrontal cortex. Doing so triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. Let's face it, most of us do not meditate so we can be more anxious and aggressive. Most of us meditate so we can experience the opposite, peace and love. I've got some good news for you. Neither the amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Let's begin with mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are wired to access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way. To help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which I'm sure you'll agree is the opposite of the rigidity of concentration. But what is it we have evolved to notice? We have evolved to notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like. The like such as what? Such as emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. So, this is a whole lot of stuff to do at the same time. Whoopsie, what's going on there? That's a bit of a typo, excuse me. So that's a whole bunch of stuff to do at the same time. Is there an elegant, and simple way to do it? Yes. Yes, there is. Every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we gently nudge our cerebral cortex into cooperating with our sympathetic nervous system. In a nutshell, the essence of meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, thus mentally releasing that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, thus causing it to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining. So, together as a team, let us meditate right now. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Good morning and welcome to our early morning live stream. Let us continue with the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 and you get 96. We do that by counting sets, 8 sets on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. Since we are on our second phase, we could keep track by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good father and mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. One moment, if you please. Let's hit this button here and this button here. We'll start with a bit of review. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, that we might notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Now, the question remains, what are we to do? What are we to do with that which we notice? That brings us to meditation. For every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired to access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is divided between the lower third and the upper third of our spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. What's the result of physically relaxing and mentally releasing in harmony with our inhalation? It causes that which we noticed during the previous inhalation to figuratively feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although is tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand? And so we see that merely by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, our familiarity with literal impermanence and figurative emptiness grows in profundity. So, together as a team, let's meditate. We come now to the 34 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb in the following way, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8, and you've got 96. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. We keep track of this, our third phase, by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could help our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zongpo, and the cloud white kuntu zong, and cloud white kuntu zongmo yambian. Remind us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. Let us discuss. So we've already discussed that the first fringe benefit of playing with mindfulness and meditation is our mastery of the right view of impermanence and emptiness that support our letting go. The more we wind up calming the tyranny of the anxiety and aggression seated in our amygdala, less do they control our choices and utterances and deeds. Number 2, we stimulate the anterior by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so. We stimulate the anterior cingulate gyrus, which here is represented by something that looks kind of like a fuchsia-colored letter C. This bad boy functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. This, in turn, drives our kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and commerce that is as cooperative as it is kind. And this is exactly why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that although one might use focus and analysis to contrive a pale and flaccid analog of love, the highest love is the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefit of watching the play of mind and relaxing into its non-graspable nature. Together, let us meditate. We come now to the fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 sets and you've got 96. We can count sets on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. We can keep track of this fourth phase by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite the our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the crown region of our head. Please chant with me. The stability with which Karvus Mandara sits. And the abandon with which cloud-white Samanta Mandari sports. Reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. Quick reminder, the most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. And the most efficient way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. And yes, we've already described how doing so can strengthen our impulse towards kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and commerce, both cooperative and kind. Well, hello, Brian. I'm not sure what you mean by 1111. If you could elaborate, that would be beautiful. So let's continue. So we have this wonderful impulse to be kind, but how are we to know exactly what kindness looks like in each situation? What to do, how to do it, when to do it, for how long to do it, for whom to do it? How do we act compassionately, skillfully? And once again, this comes back to mindfulness and meditation. For the more we practice this, the more we will find that our choices, utterances, and deeds begin flowing from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. No, not the scattered spontaneity we might experience after our fourth espresso, but the centered spontaneity that comes from mindfulness and meditation. Some might call this surfing our Buddha nature, but what do we mean by Buddha nature? Buddha nature could be thought of as simply a charming Iron Age way of describing. Well, now, in the digital age, in the age of imaging, we might describe as this. Every human possesses a sympathetic, every complex mammal possesses a sympathetic nervous system, which is wired for mindfulness. Every complex life form has a parasympathetic nervous system wired for the release of meditation. And every healthy complex life form has the analog of an anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. This set of three is the scaffolding upon which the mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path is built. This is the key to our mindfulness, meditation, and empathy. It is not the product of ritual or magic. It is not given to us by a teacher. We are born with this, and if we cooperate with this, we can rapidly master the Buddha's Eightfold Path in as little as a week or two. Oh, well, thank you very much, Brian, for sharing that. So, together as a team, let's meditate, reminding ourselves to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly whatever comes up, whether it is a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, an emotion, an intention, a thought, a murmur, or an imagining. To notice whatever comes up, whether that which comes up is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. To notice vulnerably and passively and randomly and fleetingly without indulging our controlling tendencies. And to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation that we might physically relax and mentally release in a way that helps us to let go of the tyranny of our resistance towards the absence of what we crave, as well as release the tyranny of our resistance to the presence of what we hate. We might not be able to affect what we notice or what we feel, but we can liberate our choices, utterances, and deeds from their tyranny. So together as a team, let us meditate right now. As Obi-Wan Kenobi said to Luke Skywalker, you've taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's mid-morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.